Hey there, YouTube. Thank you for stopping by my channel, The Magical Solution. My name is Leilani. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a loyal subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with me, and I hope you continue to do so. I just want to say I'm back. Yay! So I know I've been MIA on YouTube, and the reason being is I had the worst combination of laryngitis and the flu that I've ever had. First of all, it was the first time I've ever had laryngitis, so that was pretty scary because I had lost my voice, and I regained my voice back only a few days ago. So I still can't really talk in my higher register yet, but at least I got my voice back, so I'm super happy about that. But as you can see, it took a lot out of me. I'm pretty worn and pretty tired. Yeah, it was a pretty bad sickness. So that's the whole reason why I was gone. Really quick, what to expect from me over the next few days is I'll be doing 2 review videos, maybe 3, because I'm almost done with the 3rd book. So I'll be doing potentially 3 book reviews. I've got another interview coming up at the end of January with a local spiritualist in my area. I'll be doing a video on another kind of kitchen magic, another kind of ingredient that you can use. Yeah, and I think that's it for now. So that's going to be the next couple of days. But today I wanted to focus on a question that I had gotten in one of my Facebook groups. And this question had to do with, I actually did this video already for my Facebook group, but because that's a private group, I couldn't pull the video from the group to post it online, so I'm just gonna have to redo it. But basically, it was a question that was posed by one of the group members, and the question was, how do I raise energy, you know, harness it and release it? Okay? Now, I'm a huge advocate of working with the elements. Whenever I am advising someone who's just starting out in this magical world and who's learning how to manipulate energy, I always start them off with the elements. I mean, it is just key. I mean, you start them off with meditation, obviously, but in terms of how you can really work with energy and really play with it most easily and most tangibly is through the elements. So one of the things that I had advised, and one of the things that I had said in that video was, you know, energy is constantly moving, and even when you look at the most solid looking object, even a rock, the energy is still moving. It may be moving extraordinarily slow, but it's still, there's still some variance of movement, all right? And that movement is really important to understand. So when people say to me, you know, how do I harness energy? How do I store it? How do I hold on to it, right? Aside from a battery, which even a battery can lose its charge after a while, but aside from a battery, you really can't store energy for too long. You know, crystals are probably the closest thing that I can think of as far as holding energy for any extended period of time, and crystal grids are probably one of the few things, sigils, and that's just off the top of my head, that's pretty much the extent of how you can hold on to energy for any extended period of time. Sometimes metals, but it really depends, because just like water, metals are more of a conduit. But I'm not going to get into that. It's more scientific. So I guess what I'm trying to say is with this is that when she had asked me, when the group member had asked me, you know, how do I harness it? How do I hold on to energy and store it? My response was, you can't. You shouldn't. You really shouldn't, because here's the thing with energy. Like I said, it needs to move, it needs to flow, right? So let's say you're doing energy work and you've raised energy within yourself. you have to then do something with that energy. You either can go and exercise, you can have sex, you can, you know, work magic, you can, I mean, there's infinite ways in which you can work that energy and utilize that energy. But to sit there and just store it and hold on to it, it can be a little bit dangerous. That can cause things like anxiety. It can cause things like insomnia. It can cause things like weight gain and water retention. So many things. Depression. What is that? Skittish thoughts. Not being able to focus. All that stuff is when you have so much energy within you and you're not expelling it, okay? So my answer to her was, don't. You know, the minute you get that energy, I'm hoping that you have a purpose for it. That's the whole reason why you're raising energy in the first place, is because you have a purpose for it. You're going to be doing something with it, whether it's, you know, giving it to your spirits or whatever. So I think I missed my turn. I think that's where I was supposed to go. That's all right. So that's one piece of it. So then the second part, the whole idea of raising energy and actually pulling it from somewhere. You can raise energy from pretty much anything. Remember, you know, we are biological creatures and our body functions on energy as well, right? But our body gets that energy from the food that we eat, from the water that we drink, from the rest that we take, from I think this is it. Did I do this right? Yeah, I got it. Woohoo! Sorry, I'm trying to find this location and I could have sworn it was someplace different, but I got it now. Yay! So yeah, so because we're biological creatures, because we're energetic creatures, we obtain our energy from those sources, right? And that's the same thing when it comes to our magic. You know, if you need energy for your magic, you know, you can pull it from elements. You can pull it from plants. You can pull it from animals. You can pull it from stones. There's so many places you can get it from, but I like to suggest the elements. So how do I go about doing that with regards to the elements, right? So for the element of air, okay, we could start with that. The element of air is all about communication. It's all about thought. It's all about intellectualism. It is all about wind. So you can literally go outside and just breathe. You know, pranic breathing and really taking in the full amount of air that your body is fully capable of taking in, and really doing it slowly and consciously is one way of raising an energy through the element of air. Singing is another way, you know, chanting, playing music and ringing bells and allowing the sound of the bells to kind of fill you up, you know, sound healing. All of that are ways of raising energy utilizing the element of air, okay? Raising energy utilizing the element of fire, right? So fire can be something as simple as standing in front of a candle and allowing the heat, or a fireplace, or your stove, and allowing the heat to fill your body. Really communing with that heat, really feeling it from head to toe, really understanding that heat and what it's doing to your body and how your body is being affected by that heat, and embracing it and bringing it in to your body. And that's a very easy way of raising energy with fire. Fire is also about passion. It's also about sex. It's also about activities such as, you know, doing sports and doing a lot of running and getting yourself sweaty and hot, going to the gym. So one way of raising energy with fire could be, you know, doing martial arts, going to the gym, having sex, drinking very, very hot teas, eating very, very spicy foods. You know, these are all ways in which you can commune with the element of fire and allow it to give you the energy of fire, right? Raising energy with the element of earth. So the element of earth is very much about work, home, about ethics, about being grounded, right? About nature. So communing with earth and really getting energy from earth, in my personal opinion, is one of the easiest ways of obtaining and raising energy. Why? Because you live on planet Earth. You literally have access to it at any given moment. Same thing with the element of air. I mean, you have to breathe. So it's one of the easiest elements to obtain and to get energy from, right? So with the element of earth, it can be something as simple as hugging a tree. It could be something as simple as digging your hands in the dirt. It could be something as simple as, you know, placing your bare feet on the ground and just pulling in that energy from the soles of your feet or from the palms of your hands, or feeling that love when you hug that tree, you know, all of that, and pulling that in literally from the earth itself. And you'll feel it. I mean, these energies, no matter which element you're working with, no matter what tools you're working with, when you start to raise energy, you can feel it. And I'll explain that in a second. The last one is the element of water. How do you raise energy with the element of water? The element of water is a little bit more difficult to work with because it requires you to really be sensory deprivated, right? The element of water is all about emotions, and it's all about going inward. So, and that can be very hard for people, right? So my advice when working with the element of water and trying to obtain the energies of the element of water is to do submersion techniques, okay? So please don't fall asleep and don't like drown or anything like that, but, you know, get yourself into a tub of water or an ocean or a lake or a river safely, please, hopefully with other people around so that you're safe, all right? Don't do anything crazy. And if you don't have access to any of that stuff, just a sink of water or a bucket of water, and that you dunk your head in. The whole point is to shut out any kind of sensory stimulation. So you want to submerge your head, really. You want to make sure that your ears are submerged, your nose, your eyes, everything is submerged so that you're not hearing or sensing anything from the outside. Once you've done that, the process of raising energy from the water is doing like this technique that is very interesting, because it feels like you're breathing underwater, but it's really not breathing underwater. So you're holding your breath, you've got your mouth and your nose closed off, you're holding your breath, but like you're taking breaths from the inside, if that makes any sense. And I know this sounds really weird and complicated, but you're not actually taking breaths of water. You're completely blocked off, but your lungs are doing the same movement that they would do as if they were taking a breath, but you're not really taking a breath. I hope this makes sense to you guys. So why is this important? Why is this a technique that I love to do for myself? It's because what you're really doing is you are breathing the water in through your skin. All right? Now, you know, listen, science is science. Osmosis is what it is, right? You're breathing in water through your skin regardless. That's why when you come out of the bathtub, you look like a little raisin. So, I mean, we know this as a fact, like it happens anyway. But this is the action of doing this, the action of manipulating your lungs and creating the action of breathing, even though you're not really breathing underwater, is doing something different. It's switching some stuff around in your head, and it's making you think certain ways so that you're pulling in that energy. You're actually breathing in the energy of the water, right? That's just one technique. Another technique is just to simply chill, like meditate, close your eyes, be completely submerged under that water, and just go inward. And as you're inward, you're feeling all of that water all around you. You know, you're envisioning yourself like a fetus in the womb, you know, that you're completely safe and enveloped in mother's water, and allowing that to give you life. Okay? So these are ways in which you raise energy from these elements, right? So I had talked before a little bit about how you actually feel that. And you feel that. What are some of the things that you feel? Well, when you're raising energy and you know you've hit the tip of your ability to raise that energy, meaning your body is a vessel, right? Your body is a conduit of energy, but it's also a vessel of energy for a period of time. Your body, based on how you care for it, how you feed it, how you exercise it, how much rest you give it, how well you care for your body, based on all of that, and how well you care for your willpower, determines how much energy your body has the capacity for. So there are some people out there that have a very high capacity for energy. They can take in and raise a lot, versus other people who don't take good care of their body at all and can only raise a certain amount before their body starts to feel effects. All right, so this is what I mean about that tipping point. So your body raises energy up to your tipping point, to whatever that tipping point is, and what you're going to start feeling is, you know, tingling in your fingers, tingling in your toes, tingling in your face, like as if your face is falling asleep. You might get lightheaded and you might get a mild headache, but like not the headache that is a migraine or that hurts, but like this like flightiness, you know, like you're not quite there. Right? So you might start to notice that. You might start to notice a little bit of unfocusedness and be able to see auras a lot more clearly because your eyes are so unfocused from being risen so high that you're now seeing the auras around everything, you know, plants, people, animals. You're just starting to see all of everyone's energy and you're like, ugh. So it's kind of like tripping out a little bit. You're just going. Oop, someone's trying to call me. Okay. You're going, you have a lot of energy, you want to like run around, you want to move, you want to move and go, right? You might start talking from a place of, this is a weird one. This one happens to me, and I don't know if it happens to everyone else. I actually have to ask a few people. But when you raise so much energy, you become sort of like this antenna for spirit. So what ends up happening is you start talking things that you normally would not say. And it comes from like your gut. And it comes from like a place that you really have no control over. And things are starting to speak through you, okay? At least that happens to me. When I raise energy to a point where I'm like, zzz, all of a sudden I'm going and I'm giving just messages. And it's pretty crazed out. So that might happen. So if any of those things are occurring for you, right? If you begin to notice certain side effects to raising all of this energy to this tipping point, the next step is to then release the energy, right? So one of the ways that you can release the energy is, like I said before, you know, doing some kind of physical activity, eating something, grounding. Specifically, grounding is a way of releasing that energy. So the same way you pulled up energy from earth, you can push the energy back into earth, right? The same way you hug that tree, you can hug it again and push it back and give it back to the earth. Earth has a beautiful way of just sucking things right out of you, so you don't really have to try so hard. Earth has just a great way of doing that. Anyone who's ever had a really bad headache and went out to their garden and did gardening, 5 minutes later their headache is gone. You guys know what I'm talking about. Going to the beach, right? The sand. Another way of releasing that energy, believe it or not, there's one element. Out of all of those elements, there's one element that is a very easy element to release energy into. It just has a great way of cleansing, and that's the element of water. So if you are very high energy, if you've raised too much and you've done too much, take a shower. right? Go for a swim in the ocean. The salt water specifically is really, really good at cleansing you out and kind of neutralizing you and taking that energy and reabsorbing it into the ecosystem, right? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I really want you to think about these three processes. When you're raising energy through these elements, the goal is to then use it, because you don't want to store it and harness it for too long. However, if you're going to harness it, you can harness it in places like crystals and talismans and poppets, in candles and oils, and you can put it into things. But again, those things have to be recharged every once in a while. Like, those things have to be given energy again. It doesn't hold on to it, because energy does not stay in one place for too long. I mean, just look at yourself. Look at you and me. Every minute that we're alive, we're dying. Our body is losing energy and it is dying. So we constantly have to eat. We constantly have to do things in order to replenish that energy, right? And it's basically just a race against death. You're basically just trying to not freaking die every single day. So it's the same thing with magic. You can't really store energy. It doesn't work like that. So you have to continuously charge it, continuously imbue it, continuously raise it from things and elements, and then continuously send it back out. So it's this constant just flow of exchange, okay? You can also play energy games with people so that you can really truly feel and understand how to work with energy and what it feels like. There are tons of games that you can play. One of my favorite games is this game where you're standing in front of someone, and one person has a hand like this and the other person has both people have their hands like this, where it's like one hand up, one hand down, but it's the opposite with the other person, if that makes any sense. And what you're doing is you're trying to manipulate the energy. So first, you're going to just hold your hands out like this with the person. You're going to be touching palm to palm, and you're going to just allow the energy to flow in whatever direction it's flowing. So it might go from you to the person and then back to you. So out through one hand and then around and in through the other hand and back, right? So it might do that. Or it might be like a wave where it gets pulled in and then pushed out, and then pulled in and then pushed out. It really depends on you and that other person, right? And how you guys vibe together. So that's one way. And then what you end up doing is, halfway through that flow, when you really get a good flow of that energy and both of you can really feel which way it's going, you can make it go faster, make it go slower, make it change direction, make it feel hot, make it feel cold, make it feel tingly, and you can really play with it. And you're doing that through intention, you're doing that through meditation, and you and the other person are communicating without saying a single word. And it's pretty awesome. That's one of my favorite games. I love to do that. It's a great game to do with your significant other if you have a partner. It brings you guys closer together. It's a lot of fun. It can be romantic. So yeah, these are hopefully just some techniques that you guys can use. And I just wanted to give you a little something because I haven't seen you in so long. If you have any more questions, or if you want me to elaborate on any particular ideas, or if you want me to give you more exercises or go more in depth in any particular thing, just drop me a comment, let me know. I'd be glad to help out. It was so much fun to talk to you guys again. I missed you guys so much, and I will see you soon, okay? I'm so glad I'm feeling better. All right, so make sure you like, you subscribe, you share my videos, tell people about me. I'm really going to try to get out there a lot more now that I'm feeling better. Yeah, all right, cool. So have a good one, guys.